Hello AFD and welcome to Transfer Review, the show where we look at some of the best and some of the worst rumours doing the rounds in the world of silly season. Now, this week, I'm joined by Sam Obaseki, key Love Island contributor, social media extraordinaire.
Whoa. Do not talk about Love Island because, I watch it, but this season is terrible. It is terrible. The producers of that show have messed up completely because that lineup is crap. And I'm sounding very passionate because I don't have anything else to watch. I watch it in my evenings, and it's just not great in it. You should go on Love Island, Henry. I see you. I see you on it.
Have you seen what happens to any remotely posh-sounding bloke that goes on that show? They get eaten up alive. I wouldn't last
That's
5
true.
minutes in there. I get bullied off the show. Anyway, listen, let's park our troubled TV watchings for now because we're looking at some. We're going to start off with the transfer we love, potentially a great recoupling in the words of Love Island, and that is Paul Pogba to PSG. Sam, why do we love this transfer so much?
We don't just love this transfer, mate. We adore it. Like, if you lot know me, you know that I've been screaming Pogba needs out of United because he's a superstar, and I feel like they're holding him in. Obviously, some people may disagree, and you're fair too because he hasn't been as consistent. But like you said, let's just go into the transfer. Anyway, it has been reported, according to Daily Mirror, that PSG are preparing to raise 50 million in order to sign the Manchester United superstar after growing confident that the Red Devils might actually sell him, providing that the price is right. These reports even claim that Pogba is close to agreeing personal terms with Le Parisien. We've heard some of these things before, but I don't know. I might be sold on this one. This is obviously after them signing, I was going to say the world, but they've made multiple signings this summer. They've got Gini Wijnaldum, Sergio Ramos, Donnarumma, all on free transfers. So that means that they do have the funds to maybe pay the 60 million for Pogba and bring him in and just challenge for everything. Because if Pogba goes there, they're challenging for everything. And let's not forget, his agent Mino Raiola has been cooking this up for a while now. He said last December, ahead of a crucial clash against RB Leipzig in the UCL, that it was over for Pogba at Manchester United, adding, Paul is unhappy with Man United as he is no longer able to express himself in the way that he would like and that he's expected to. Paul needs a new team and a change of air. And obviously we saw rumours after that of him going back to Juve, a place that he was actually quite successful, and of Spain, but Spain doesn't look that likely, with Perez coming out saying that he's not signing anyone, and Barcelona just tied up Messi to a new contract and signed Depay and a few others, so they're not signing anyone. So PSG just snuck in and got there, and it might be the perfect time. Pogba, I don't know whether to say his time at United has been successful or not. Maybe we can come to a conclusion when he actually leaves. But he scored 38 times in 199 appearances since he joined in 2017, and it's a weird one because obviously we see his quality. We see his quality for Man United. We definitely see his quality for France when he was at the Euros. He was probably going to be the player of the tournament if they didn't get knocked out at that moment. But if this does happen, how big would this be for Pogba, Henry?
Oh, I mean, I love this idea in principle, but I think we can't overlook the fact this could be just Pogba angling for a better contract at Manchester United. So an added spice to this whole story is the fact that his contract expires next summer. And although there are talks of improved terms for the 28-year-old, he said before the Euros he hadn't received a concrete offer. In fact, he's currently on about £290,000 a week, so he's looking to get a bit more there. Not even the highest earner at the club, with De Gea on something like £350,000 a week there. And like you said, at the Euros, Sam, he really did put in sort of a star-studded performance there, and you can expect to see him kind of showing off his value. But I mean, there is reasons to stay at United right now. They are making the kind of signings which you'd want to see if you were certainly the Frenchman. You know, Jadon Sancho, he's pretty much sealed. And then Raphael Varane, if that does go through, I think that's an incredible transfer at centre-half. So these are the kind of additions they need to make if they want to push the club onwards and really challenge for the silverware. Like you said, has he won that much since he's been there? Not too sure. Definitely Europa League, a League Cup in there along the way. And, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's never really said that they're going to sell Pogba. He's always been clear that they want the best players at the club if they're going to push on. And I've read other reports suggesting that £60 million might be what they are, so maybe £70 million. But like we said, 1 year left in his contract. This does look like Mino Raiola angling for improved terms for his client. We see this all the time in football when it comes to contract negotiations like this. And there are other targets for PSG too. According to the Mirror, aside from Pogba, they're also interested in Eduardo Camavinga, sort of the teenage French sensation from Rennes. That's a bit more of a gamble, but he looks like to be available for about 30 million euros right now, a year left on his contract, so United going in for him too. And in an intriguing twist, I quite like this when I read it, the Express and the Daily Star claim that United will go after Bayern Munich midfielder Leon Goretzka if Pogba does decide to leave in the end. It's an interesting one, but I mean, PSG, the financial situation in French football isn't great right now. They did spend 60 million euros on Achraf Hakimi this summer as well, so they would have to sell some players in order to raise money. They sold Mitchell Bakker for about 7 million euros, I think, to Bayer Leverkusen. So some other players would have to leave in order to fund this transfer. But we love it. It is interesting. At home, what do you think of this deal? Let us know down in the comments below, and we're going to move on to the transfer we hate.
So for the transfer we hate, we're going over to the Merseyside Red. And it is quite unfortunate for Liverpool fans. I don't know if there's that much truth in it, but it is definitely a transfer we hate. And that is because Jordan Henderson is being linked with a move away, Henry. What's this about?
It's strange. I mean, he's been such a stalwart at Liverpool for so long. He's one of 5 players ever to appear for 10 Premier League seasons for Liverpool. He's sort of won it all under Klopp in recent years, hasn't he? Sort of iconic trophy lifts there. But it looks like his future at Liverpool is up in the air after the Daily Mail claimed that negotiations over a new contract have completely collapsed. And it doesn't look like there's any indication that talks are going to restart anytime soon. So this is the situation. The 31-year-old is on the books at Anfield until 2023. And he's looking to try and extend his deal beyond that point. Although similar to what we saw with Gini Wijnaldum, it appears that the club's directors aren't providing him the long-term assurances that he's after in order to stay. And the Daily Mail claims that the squad are approaching a massive overhaul. And if you look at it, there's so many players whose contracts are expiring in 2023. You've got Mane, Salah, Firmino, Van Dijk, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Fabinho and Keita, and Shaqiri, who I think Shaqiri will probably leave this summer regardless. But the thing is, Henderson is older than all of these players and is probably sort of bottom of the list when it comes to giving him the kind of deal that he is after, and this is the situation we're in, and they don't want to repeat the Wijnaldum situation where he leaves for free, so they'll probably potentially look to cash in on him if it looks like contract talks are going nowhere. Jurgen Klopp is obviously not happy about this at all. He views Henderson quite rightly as one of his leaders. He's captain of the club. He's made hundreds of appearances for the side, but it just doesn't look like the owners, FSG, have ever been that keen on Henderson. I was reading an independent article about this, and Liverpool's former director of football, Damien Comolli, he revealed that the signing of the Sunderland man was a key part of the reason he was fired, because John W. Henry told him he had made a big mistake on Jordan and he was a waste of money. Obviously the situation's changed. The situation's changed a little bit since then. He's gone on to achieve greatness in many ways at the club. However, you do get the feeling that they're not going to go all out to sign to give sort of Henderson the deal he's after. However, Sam, if he is available, there are going to be a number of clubs that are interested in him, aren't there?
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, he is hot property. Especially his time at Liverpool, he's kind of turned into a midfield monster, and there's definitely going to be suitors around the world that will be keen. PSG are reportedly monitoring the situation with Maurizio Pochettino being a huge admirer of the England vice captain. I had to add the huge because it was in quotations. But the Metro also believe that Juventus are keeping tabs on him too, along with Atletico Madrid, who are trying to. This is actually quite funny. He's got a good relationship with Luis Suarez, so they think that because of that he might be on going to Atletico Madrid, and also Liverpool are trying to get Saul, so there might be some sort of swap deal there, because Saul is almost certainly going to leave Los Rojiblancos, got to say that right. Obviously that might not make a lot of sense for Henderson, but for Diego Simeone, that would be someone that he would love in his squad. Henderson is a clear leader on the pitch and off of the pitch, and his age and his experience will definitely add to that Atletico Madrid squad. But now we're thinking, because like you said, Henry, Liverpool have got at least 7 players that their contract ends in 2023, so Klopp has to look to the future. And according to the Athletic, the first person that he's looking at is West Ham's 24-year-old Jared Bowen, someone I did not expect to see in the conversation with Liverpool at all. but at the same time, I do kind of see the qualities that he has and what Klopp can see in him. The move largely depends on the sales of Origi and Shaqiri, as Liverpool are operating on a sell to buy basis. I know Liverpool fans aren't going to be happy about that, but either way, Bowen, who moved to East London in Jan 2020 for £90 million, managed 8 goals and 5 assists last season for a West Ham side that is actually on the rise. So I don't even know if he would want to leave. You know what I mean? He might be loving it up there. It would be a huge step for him, obviously coming from Hull. Not disappointing since he's been rising up the ranks, but it's gonna be interesting, man, because I did this story on Snapchat, yeah, and Liverpool can go either two ways. They can catch up to City, seal all the deals with Mane, Van Dijk, Salah, or they can lose a few of them on a free, lose a few of them this season and next season, and Liverpool are just in big trouble.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's really surprising to see someone like Jordan Henderson being almost disrespected to a certain degree. I think there's a certain level of arrogance. If this is true, the story, I think 31 years old, he's the kind of player that you can see going on for a number of years. I'm surprised they wouldn't want his leadership, and especially if there is going to be this giant overhaul, he's the kind of guy you want there to bed in the new players. And then you see someone like Jared Bowen. I can't imagine West Ham United, they'll ask for silly money. You look at the money they're asking for Declan Rice, the same there. I liked Jared Bowen. I think he's still got more to prove in the Premier League. I don't think he's nearly ready for a rise up to Liverpool for at least another 2 seasons yet, in my opinion. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Sam, do you think Henderson's being disrespected, or are you excited by the prospect of a move to, let's say, Atletico, or maybe see him strutting his stuff for the likes of Juventus?
I genuinely, like, I'm a fan of seeing players take new challenges, so that would definitely be exciting. I don't think PSG makes that much sense because they've just signed Gini Wijnaldum. They do kind of similar role, but Atletico Madrid, that would be interesting. Even Juve, that would be quite interesting. But at the same time, it just doesn't make sense for Liverpool. You saw the impact him and Van Dijk not being in the squad had on the team. Like, you need a leader on the pitch, and you've seen how much he's improved since he's been at Liverpool. If you're not rating his thing, not even just his ability, but the fact that he makes everyone around him much better. If you're not respecting that, then maybe you don't deserve him, to be fair. So it's, I don't know, man. Like, Hendo, he's been disrespected basically his whole career, and I don't think it's gonna be stopped.
I agree with you, Sam. Well, let us know what you think about the Henderson situation in the comments below, if you think he's being disrespected by Liverpool. And thank you for watching. That's all we've got time for on Transfer Review this week. Sam, what should they go check out on Snapchat?
You should go to Snapchat, subscribe to the Transfer Talk show as well, because we do shows daily on there. I think I'm gonna talk in depth about this Henderson stuff and see what Liverpool are gonna do in the future as well. So if you want to find out, go over to Snapchat, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Love that. I think we've got Ariana starting as a presenter on the channel too. So go give her some support. She's been a massive figure at FD behind the scenes, certainly on Facebook. So yeah, this is her moment for Snapchat. All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Peace.